Hi, how's it going, guys? Resident of Collinwood here. I'm back to review J.P. Betancourt's continuing blog series, The Return of Dark Shadows. Series 10, Chapter 10, The Brightest of Lights. This is the final chapter in this series. I'm going to stress that so I don't fuck up. What can I say? I tend to mess up on certain things. I gotta watch it. This starts with... Sorry. Excuse me. This starts with David and Saban arguing about her father, her adopt. She views him as a father, but it's her adopted father, Barnabas. But what I'll say is, again, scene setting, scene setting. That's been the one consistent thing that I love here. It's not the only consistent thing I love here, but it's been consistent the past 4 years with this story. Scene setting, scene setting, scene setting, character setting, character setting. It's been consistent throughout the 4 years of this story that J.P. Betancourt has been writing. And it continues here. And what I love about that is you get the sense you're in the room with these people and you're watching this discussion go down. Is this my favorite part of the story? No, I'll get to that. I have many favorite parts of this chapter, this end chapter for this series here. Um, the ending of this, the not the end. You get what I'm saying? But what I love, I'll give you the 3 to 4 things I love. I like the fact that we have Maggie Evans, who's in full who turns into a werewolf, and because Collinsport is a lot like Silent Hill in a way. To me, Collinsport was the first Silent Hill before Silent Hill. It's a strange goddamn place, and strange shit happens. It wasn't a full moon, it was a crescent moon. And Maggie Evans changes. Andrew changes. You have Sebastian changing. And it's because of, to me, it's Josette. Josette's causing this. Josette, who has now come through, to get back at Angelique. And what a person to bring back. The perfect person to bring back to try to thwart Angelique's ultimate attempt to destroy people. People Josette cares about. People like Victoria Winters. People like Maggie Evans. I love the mirror part where go to the old house. Go to the old house. I love that sequence. Who better to reach through than Maggie Evans? And considering Maggie resembles Josette the most, it's a perfect way to do this, and this was excellently done. And I wish I could stop coughing. Um, I like Curtis. Again, him under Angelique's spell is so well done here and throughout the chapters. And I love how David gets a call from Curtis about his mother. You get the commitment, the committing of Victoria Winters to Wincliffe in this. You also get a nice little tease at the end, a hand to come back. And I love what David said. If anything happens to her, I'll make you pay. That when David Collins threatens you, check your brakes, y'all. Check your brakes. Check your car brakes. Check that loaded gun. Is that a knife? Is that a sniper rifle? Yeah. Listen, David Collins will dust your ass quicker than Wyatt Earp at a fucking shootout, okay? The shit will hit the fan. And it's that simple. David is not afraid to do shit. And he's crazy as all hell. I don't give a shit what doctor says he's sane or that. David to me, David has always been the most dangerous Collins family member. I love Barnabas to death, but David is dangerous as hell. Um, and you cannot take what he says to you lightly sometimes, especially when he's threatening you. Um, I love the three werewolves here. Two of them are related. You have Maggie Evans and Sebastian. Sebastian is Maggie's son. You have Serena, who was, you know, realized the werewolf change had taken place. You have the wolves howling. You have all this, and you have an epic battle at the end of this. You have this, to me, the way I read this, the way this was done, the way this was written by J.P. Betancourt. This, I told you guys, I went to go see Avengers, and I loved how the big climax was that final battle. This, to me, was as good as that final sequence there. The three werewolves coming after Angelique, the battle between Angelique and Alexandra, the disappearance of Angelique, not knowing did they really win or did she just go away. And you have Sobahan, who came back out of the mirror. You have Andrew, Sebastian, and Maggie, who are no longer who aren't werewolves for the moment, but they still have the werewolves, DNA. You have one of the best climax sequences here, and then the payoff sequence is very, very, very good. You're not sure if Angelique is destroyed or not. Did I love the Wingcliff sequence? Yes and no. Yes, on the part of Victoria Winters. And yeah, I don't mind Angelique still being alive. I could see that, because I think with Angelique, from the characteristic standpoint of what I've gotten from the reading of this, was that Angelique, to me, bit off way more than she could chew on some of this. But on though too, she's trying to pick her battles, and her battle is, to her now, it's I want Curtis Winters. Now, how long that's going to maintain for her, I don't know. What didn't I like about that part? As soon as I heard the word nurse, I said, that's Angelique. And I thought coming back there to Victoria was, to me, it's like half the town knows about, you have Alexandra, you have Sebastian, you have Maggie, Sobahan, who all know about Angelique now. There's almost no point to try to cover her tracks now, because that is gone. That cover is done. So that's sort of, I'm not nitpicking. I'm just saying I think this story, from the standpoint, is amazing. I think that's just something I went, huh, because I'm thinking, why is this character trying to maintain this cover still? That's sort of the question I was asking in my head when I was reading that. And I'm not saying that's a character flaw. It's not, but in some sense I go, why? You just had this epic battle that was really great. I love the sequence of that and how it led up to that. I love all of that. I just didn't quite understand why the still secrecy. Why is she still trying to keep? And I'm sure that'll get explained. I'm not nitpicking. I'm just saying, why the secrecy with Victoria? Because you have all those people who I just mentioned. They know, they're not going to keep their mouths shut. So, and that's a lot of people to spell cast on. All in all, I give this a straight 10. Really, really great. Is Barnabas gone for good? That is going to be an interesting standpoint to find out what happens. I'll leave that tease there. The link's going to be in the description box. One hell of a story. Go check it out. Written by J.P. Betancourt. Continuing The Return of Dark Shadows. I'll see you guys in May. I'm going to do a Dark Shadows What If video, and I'm going to give a Red Dead Redemption 2 video review a little bit. Um, is there a serial killer in Red Dead Redemption 2? Not sure, but I'm going to examine that. Um, so I'm sure I'll have other stuff lined up in May. So I'll see you guys, and you have a great one.